and he gave him the finger. And I think people are misinterpreting the finger. They're looking at it as the old-fashioned played out, like, oh, he's the birdie, like the. I think what he was doing was saying, bro, I want to show you the potential. You think serial game? Ha, that's cute. Let me show you the potential. Let me show you the depth. Let me show you the reach that I have. I will go all the way down to this knuckle into your eyeball, homie. I will go all the way down this deep. I will bruise. I will give my own knuckle a hairline fracture just to go that deep, just to let you know what's up. I'm gonna tickle the back of your skull, homie. You know when you got a big old fat, crusty, or in some cases maybe runny, maybe gooey booger, big old moco right here on your face, and people think, I don't want to be awkward, I don't want to embarrass him, I don't want to make things weird, and they don't say anything. What they're doing, they're not helping you. They're not your homie by staying on hush mode, by locking it up. They're trying not to put themselves in an awkward situation. Whether they realize it or not, maybe they think that they're doing the right thing. But a real homie will say, hey man, what's wrong with you? You don't look in the mirror before you leave the pad or what? They'll tell you, they'll call you out on it. Now look, I am not a Jon Jones fanboy. But I'm going to tell it like it is. I'm going to call it like I see it. If I see a booger, I'm going to point it out, even if it makes things awkward right here, because I know there's a lot of people that don't like Jon Jones. And how dare you say something that kind of seems like it may be going in Jon Jones' favor, right? Well, you know, like back in the day when they were doing the him too movement, whenever it was like she said, and they were all these ladies were saying stuff. And you could only really go off of what they said, right? Because nobody was there. We got no evidence. We got no proof in most situations. Just like the lady coming after Cesar Chavez because apparently he was against illegal immigration and doesn't quite fit the narrative anymore, but she has no evidence to back up what she's saying. And every time you look at the photos of them together, she's looking at him like this. And I wish that someone would look at me the way that she looked at him, but that's not about, you know, what we're talking about right now. We could make another video about that on a different channel. But there's that version, the him too. I think our version of that today is, when did they start pressing record? In other situations, it's like, you know, what did this person say? What did that person say? You know what it is? It's like all the people, think about it this way. All the people that were locked up. What's the word? Unjustifiably, I don't know. There's a word. You'll tell me. Let me know in the comments. There's a word where people got locked that shouldn't have been locked up, and then they found out decades later when they finally were able to use DNA testing. Oh snap! That was our bad. That was our bad. You want us to kick you a couple $1,000 or try to hook you up with the job at Taco Bell, or like, how can we make this right? You know, everyone he's ever known and loved is dead. Passed away. He's coming out when he's 92 years old. You know what I'm talking about? This situation, like the era that we're living in right now, is like back in the day when people got locked up without having DNA testing yet. Today, it's when did they press record? Because we don't know anything that happened before that. What we do know, which I think is crazy, have you ever been scrolling on some kind of social media platform and you see something that somebody posted and they're like, you know, the poster's like, man, the comment section, all these people, we're really, they're going to stand up behind me. We're really going to let the person in this video have it. And then everyone sides with the person that didn't upload the video. Have you ever seen that? You know what I'm talking about? There's this phenomenon where like somebody posts something and it makes them look terrible. And everyone in the comments comes after that. That's exactly what this video was to me, by this dude that uploaded. I'm not even going to say his name. It's like when it's like a mass shooter or something like that. I'm not even going to say his name. I'm not even going to give him the satisfaction, both for that and for litigious reasons. I'm not going to give him the satisfaction. I'm not going to put myself as a liability, all right? If you want to grow a beautiful garden or a respectable chia pet, you got to nurture it and tend to it, right? Just like these videos in this channel. If you want to see more content like this, then let the algorithm know by watching till the end, liking, hyping, commenting, subscribing, all that kind of stuff. Thank you. This dude posted a video, and of course the entire community is coming after Jon Jones, like if he was Brendan Schaub, right? Because that's just what you're supposed to do. Like if he was Dana White, right? But that's not how I get down. I get down with facts. It's like, don't even tell me this person's name or that person's name. Just tell me what happened on each side, and then I'll tell you from there. And then after, it's like a double blind test. Just tell me what happened, and then I'll tell you what I think is going on. And oh, that's who that was. Oh, right. That's how I look at things. Like Solomon, I'm like, Jon Jones did what? Hold on, let's cut him in half. And I know that doesn't quite apply or make sense in this situation, but you see where I'm going with this. I'm just trying to be just, you know. So I see the video. After everyone, oh, Jon Jones, look at what he did. And they're putting all the photos on UFC 5 and all this and all the thing with his fingers. And he's supposed to look like the bad guy, right? They're putting him on the album, parental advisory, all that kind of stuff. So then I see the video. And what I see is a dude pull his car into a completely abandoned, been shut down for hours. Everything in the vicinity, all the other businesses been shut down for hours. Little Caesars, right? And by the way, Little Caesars, even outside of the boundaries of a circumstance like this, it is very similar to, like, you go to Little Caesars, Walmart, Denny's, there's certain kind of places, even when there's not circumstances like this, something's gonna go down. Like, you're asking for trouble when you go to certain types of places. But this Little Caesars looked as abandoned as the In-N-Out that I was trying to go to the other day when I was driving home from a collab with Moss from the MMA host from LA, and I was very upset because I didn't realize how late it was. And I was like, dang, I thought they were 24 hours, but I should have known better. It was completely abandoned, deserted, no one there, no reason for this dude to have pulled into this parking lot. He was not going there because that's why he was out late. He wasn't up to no good. He wasn't just out there seeing what his engine could do with that new fin he just put on. I think he had different intentions. And you guys know how I do. I paused, I rewinded, I paused, I rewinded. I kept checking it out. I kept checking at the places around. I'm like, no, everything was closed, like closed. There's no reason for this. He's not an essential consumer. He's not an essential. He had no reason to be out on the streets right now. But he pulled into a closed, not just a Little Caesars. He pulled into a closed Little Caesars, and the camera was already running. Why was the camera already running? And why wasn't it running before? Anyway, the camera is running. That's where we come in. We press play. He pulls into a Little Caesars. The camera starts running. And I noticed immediately. At first, I was like, hold up. Is this mirrored? Is it backwards? Am I misunderstanding something? And then I looked at John's truck, and I was like, no, his is correct. So then I went back to the car. Dude was driving on the wrong side. I don't know if anybody else noticed this. I haven't seen anybody else talking about this. When you see the inside of the dude's car, it's the wheel, the dash, everything is on the wrong side. What is he, a mailman? Everything was on the wrong side of the car. And immediately this made me realize, this dude just moved here. This dude's probably like from Australia or something. This dude's over here coming at Jon Jones, saying that he doesn't know how to drive and he's swerving and he's getting in his lane. This dude just came from somewhere in Europe. He was probably driving on the wrong side of the road. His wheel isn't even on the right side of the car. And again, I checked and I double checked. I did my due diligence and I looked back and forth. I was trying to make sure there wasn't some discrepancy. It wasn't backwards. This dude's wheel is on the European side of the car. So if anybody's going to have it backwards and twisted up, I think I know what I'm leaning toward in this situation already. His stuff was backwards. And I don't even think that's legal. I think at a certain point you got to adjust that. Again, unless you're delivering the mail. And I don't think he was delivering the mail in this car. And I gotta bring it up. And I actually have it right here on my screen. The dude, and for those of you that know cars, okay? I should end the video right here because this is gonna tell you everything you need to know. This dude was driving a Nissan 180 SX. Now, I would never say that. Especially on YouTube. But you know what? I'm not going to say it because I'm having enough trouble. Some people refer to these cars as are, fill in the blank, burners, right? The fast and the furious type of car, okay? A Nissan 180 SX. Now, let me tell you something in case you don't follow this channel closely and you don't remember. I used to be a Nissan car salesman. I was a two-time Nissan car salesman. I sold at one location and I sold at another. I'm a two-time. Respect. Put respect on my beanie. Two-time Nissan. Now, those aren't really, those aren't in production anymore, but we got like the Nissan Z and stuff like that. I'm telling you, the clientele that I dealt with, as soon as I saw that, I already knew who this dude was. I went back to the future, sitting there trying to get a down payment out of this dude. I know exactly who we're dealing with right here, okay? The car should tell you everything you need to know. When you see the car in the video, that should have told you everything that you needed to know. And not only was this dude willingly, of his own volition, pulling into a Denny's parking lot. Again, a Denny's. See, you see how interchangeable it is? Not only was he pulling into a Little Caesars, he was pulling into a very closed, abandoned, shut down Little Caesars. There's nothing hot or ready at this point, okay? Now, what this immediately made me think, and we've seen it a billion times online. There's videos like this all over the internet where dudes are all mad on the road and they're like, yeah, pull over, and they pull over. And I was like, oh, this is one of those. This, according to everything that you could see in the video, it looked completely consensual. This dude in the little Nissan appears from every angle to be complicit. This dude signed the contract. This looks 100% like one of those situations they're going back and forth. They're like, come on, pull up. And then he pulls over. Does he live at Little Caesars? Does he have like a little studio in the back or something like that? I doubt it. He should have continued. He should have went home. If he's scared, if he felt like he was in the right and he was, well, what's wrong with this guy doing in my lane? I'm worried. Go to the police department. Why are you pulling over at a completely closed down, way late at night? What was it again? Little Caesars. And then you start recording. Your wheel's on the wrong side of the car. You're driving a Nissan. He gets out of the car. Now, let me tell you, in case you don't know, because this is one of those things a lot of people who just run hot. They're looking for a reason, just give me a reason. There's people that operate that way, For those of you that don't know, because it's just become so prevalent, unfortunately, in our culture, when you are in any kind of even, the potential of a road rage type of incident, getting out of the car is illegal. And I have something pulled up for you right here. Getting out of your car during a road rage incident to confront another driver is illegal and dangerous. It can be classified as disorderly conduct, harassment, or a precursor to assault. Initiating a confrontation by leaving your vehicle makes you an aggressor, leading to charges like battery if physical conduct occurs, even if no injury is sustained. Leaving your vehicle to confront someone can lead to criminal charges, including misdemeanor battery. Walking up to another car could be perceived as a deadly threat, potentially justifying the other driver's use of self-defense. Now, I feel like we've heard enough bits and pieces here and there about Jon Jones over the years, and he'll have these pockets where he's like this vigilante type dude, and he's aware of the law, and he wants to keep his city clean, and he tries to do this and that, be a good Samaritan. I wouldn't be surprised, especially because, and I'm not saying anything against it. I'm just saying we know Jones is a gun dude. And, my Second Amendment, I don't just got these arms, I got these arms as well. And I feel like this is something that Jones would know and knew and was ready, and that's why he had his hand in his pocket. Because I feel like Jones ain't 19 years old. I feel he's a father. He's been around. He's lived there. I feel like he's the kind of dude that would know. Walking up to another car can be perceived as a deadly threat, potentially justifying the other driver's use of self-defense. I feel like Jones knew, I'm ready to use this gun if this guy acts up. He was ready. He was calm. He was cool. He was collected, most likely intoxicated, but, we'll leave that up to law enforcement. I don't know if it's too late now. It's too late now. But I just wanted to point that out. This dude appeared to be making bad decisions from the start, and they never seemed to stop. He should not have gotten out of his car. And it reminded me when I saw that happen in the video, he went full DC. This dude driving the Nissan went full Daniel Comer. I think at some point he realized who it was in the truck. There's a part of me, the bigger part of me, pretty much all of me, believes that this dude knew who Jones was from the start. And you're not fooling me. You're not fooling me, Nissan driver, by misspelling his name in your post at least twice and acting like you didn't know who it was. I didn't fall for it. But I think he went full DC when he got out of the car, because he's like, you think I'm just going to sit here and let you kill me, John? Come on, John. You think I'm just going to sit here and let you kill me? I think that's what he was doing. He decided not to live vivaciously through DC. He said, I'm going to go full DC. I'm going to put it on camera. And maybe I'm going to make some money so I could, buy some new wheels for my Nissan. So he did one wrong thing after another. And it reminded me, this dude did not seem like the good, upstanding citizen that I think he's pretending to be. He kind of reminded me of those dudes from the videos where they get pulled over by a cop and they're like, I'm not going to tell you my name. I'm not going to give you my ID. I'm not going to roll down my window. I know my rights. I'm not going to give you my insurance. I know my rights. And it's like, bro, you know how like a lot of people didn't like cops? I feel like you just made everyone love cops and hate you. Somehow you flipped everybody. Those people are so annoying. You know how many times I've been pulled over? Now look, I've had a change. I've made a full blown, I'm talking like metanoia status, just 180. And, when I was a much younger driver, I was stupid, man. I was stupid. I don't condone it. I don't think it was cool. It was stupid. And I was half a point away, half a point from losing my driver's license. So I'm just letting you know, the only reason I tell you, and it had nothing to do, I've never even taken a sip of alcohol in my life. Nothing to do. It was just speeding, rolling stop signs, red lights, speeding. It was always that kind of stupid stuff. I was half a point away from losing my driver's license. The reason I'm telling you that is to let you know, I've been pulled over. I've interacted with police officers. Never once did I give them any kind of attitude, any kind of disrespect. I don't got to show you. I was like, bro, I know what I did. Or I know they're doing their job. What the heck why am I going to make my own life harder, right? What do you want? Here you go. Got that? You want a Tic Tac? No, you're gonna misinterpret that and think I'm insulting you. You want some hot Cheetos? Like I've never. There's no reason. Why make it worse? And if you have bad thoughts about cops, if you think negative things about them, if you think they're dangerous, if you think they're reckless, what a good idea to provoke them, right? There's no good reason to do those types of videos. What do you think you're doing? You're just a bully with a badge. Why don't you take it off? And it's stupid. And I got that kind of a vibe from this dude. He gets out of the car. He's already recording. He starts with his aggressive words. I don't remember exactly what he said. It was something like, hey, what you gonna do? What you gonna do then, Jones? You trying to do something? He's trying to get aggressive with him. He was trying to provoke him. He was trying to get him on that more than words, because this dude was all about words. What you gonna do, Jones? What you gonna do? And then he was hoping, I know this guy's crazy. He's gonna come swing on me or something. And I'm going to get him like the other dude got him with the Meta glasses. And I don't know if he was holding a phone. I don't know if it was Meta or what. But he starts with the aggressive words. And Jones, soon as he got around and got close to him, I think he spotted the glasses. He said, nah, Charlie, I'm not going to get caught up again. You're not going to catch me slipping again. That dork last time with the Meta glasses caught me and exposed to the whole world that I got a bad hip. I'm not going to get exposed. I'm not going to get exposed with another pair of Meta glasses, letting people know that now I got a gun on my hip. Chale. So he was right there in front of his face anyway, and he gave him the finger. And I think people are misinterpreting the finger. They're looking at it as the old-fashioned played out, like, oh, he's the birdie. I think what he was doing was saying, bro, I want to show you the potential. You think serial gain? That's cute. Let me show you the potential. Let me show you the depth. Let me show you the reach that I have. I will go all the way down to this knuckle into your eyeball, homie. I will go all the way down this deep. I will bruise. I will give my own knuckle a hairline fracture just to go that deep, just to let you know what's up. I want to tickle the back of your skull, homie. with, you know, in an aggressive, violent type of manner, you know. And 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 you know what? I think that's all it was. I think a lot of things are because of the way that this video was framed. I think it's getting taken out of context. And this dude is trying to make himself look like a hero, trying to make Jones look like an aggressor. And I think just to really put the cherry on top, I think this dude really exposed his true intentions with the way he ended his post. He said something near the bottom, and I think it was on Instagram. It's been regurgitated so much. I think what we've all been seeing isn't even the original post anymore. I don't know. But somewhere toward the end, this dude said, I didn't even know it was Jones until this part of the whatever. And, you know, now that I know it was him, no hard feelings, you know, hopefully we can make another video together and shake hands and squash the beef. Oh, no. You're clout chasing. You knew it was him. How do you roll in the same town as this dude? And he's the mascot. He's the Albuquerque mascot. Everybody knows who this is. And look at what he drives. He doesn't drive a little, like, you know, fall in between the cracks, you know, little white Toyota Camry. Like, you could, okay, that thing sticks out. You know who it is. And I think he was trying to antagonize and provoke him, get it on camera, maybe make some money. When that didn't work out because he didn't lay hands on, you know, man, we're good. Let's call. But what do you think you are, dude? Again, you think you're DC? You think you're at that level where you got to have another? You think it's time for round 2? You think it's time for the squeakquel so you guys can squash? You think anybody cares? You think, bro, we want to see that as much as we want to see Diego Lopez versus Alexander Volkanovski part 7. What are you thinking, dude? Delusions of grandeur right here. I think that showed his true intentions. And now, let me say this. Let me say this all at the end. It did seem to me like perhaps Jon Jones was intoxicated. I'm not going to say 100% because people act very different depending on who they are. Different people act different when they're under the influence. So I don't know. Maybe he could have been on medication for his hip. I have no idea. Maybe he had allergies. He was on that Benadryl. I don't know. And I don't want to support that. One of the things I hate most on earth is that people who think they could do that kind of stuff and get behind the wheel. I didn't mean to do it. Well, let's not get into that whole. That's for my Seventh channel. I'm branching off here to talk about different things that I don't want to bore you with. I'm not defending that part of it. I think that's sick. I think that's evil. I think it's selfish. I don't think if you're doing anything like that. I don't even think you should drink decaffeinated coffee and get behind the wheel. You know, no downers. No downers. I'm not promoting uppers either. I'm just saying, like, I don't play around with that. Like, be responsible when you get behind the wheel, you know. And maybe he was going into the dude's lane or whatever. I don't know. But here's the problem. Here's the problem with this dude that uploaded this. We have no choice. We're left with speculation at that point. We're left with speculation. Did Jones do it? We have to say, well, based on other things we've seen before, based on his behavior, but maybe I could see that. I suppose I could understand how you get to that conclusion. I guess he's done something like that before. Well, according to history, maybe. Okay. But there's a video, and everything on the video makes the uploader look bad.